Jamal Adams traded to Seattle, LSU alumni.
Yeah. Go Tigers.
Although I'm getting frustrated about these divas from LSU now because they're starting to give us a bad reputation. You got the Odell Beckhams and but anyway, he was traded for 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and their starting safety, Bradley McDougall. Who do you think won this trade? Keo.
I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks. They won in this trade. I think even though they do get first round picks for this year and next year, I don't I for this year and next year, I think it's gonna be meaningless because when it comes to the Jets and the way they draft their players, they do a really horrible job when it comes to drafting their players in the draft. As far as Seattle's trying to win now. This makes them better. As far as their secondary goes, it gives them star power in their secondary. They didn't have no star power when it came to their secondary. It definitely makes their secondary better. And I think this now makes this team at the ranks of teams like the Saints, the Niners, as far as like true NFC contenders in the NFC right now. And I like this move by Schneider and Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I'm with Keo clearly on this. I knew you was gonna say no. I knew you was gonna say no because Jamal Adams is in his last year of his contract. But you're not gonna leave. You're not gonna leave Seattle. Seattle seems to be a place where people want to play. Even though Richard Sherman left, at the end of the day, he was getting older. Earl Thomas was getting older. They know when to get rid of their guys, kind of like New England in a sense. I think bringing in a young guy like Jamal Adams, who's proven, they didn't give up no great player, and that's no shot to my man McDougall, man. Look, all respect to you. He's turning 30 this year, bro. I mean, I know he's in the trade, but you get the 2 first-round picks. They cool, and I disagree with you on this. The first-round picks is always valuable. They're always. I don't care where they're at. You can get a great player in the early in the second round. So then first-round picks are really valuable. But I feel like you got a proven player who now has to prove himself even more than what he's done up until this point. And he was playing for a terrible organization, but now playing for a great organization. I think Jamal Adams, man, is a great addition for the Seattle Seahawks. And we know their legacy when it comes to their secondary, the Legion of Boom. Pete Carroll knows what a great safety looks like. So I think that the Seahawks won this trade. But it's not a bad trade for the Jets. Let me just say that.
Let me tell you this. The Jets came away the big winner.
How?
Number one, the Jets wasn't competing for a championship this year. We all know they're not a playoff team now. They are rebuilding right now. They need more pieces. They wasn't going to win with Jamal Adams. They asked for 2 first-rounders a year ago and didn't get it. Now, closer to his contract expiring, they got more than 2 first-round picks. They got a starting safety, 2 first-round picks. No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The next 2 years,
you might not
they're
get
going
that team next year.
4 first-round picks. 4 first-round picks. So they could if they wanted to, they could trade. They could get the first pick in the draft if they wanted it.
Okay.
There's no team that's going to turn that down. So they can get any player they want out of the draft, and they're rebuilding. And number 2.
So you saying Trevor Lawrence?
Jamal Adams. Well, he could maybe.
Then I will come on here and say you were right. If they get Trevor Lawrence, I would say you were right.
And number two, Adams. We all know where Adams wanted to be. We all know what team players he contacted to try to get a trade to. That's your boy Keo's Dallas Cowboys.
He ain't going
And
to
now
Dallas.
he's a free agent.
He's not going to Dallas. Dallas paying everybody. They can't pay everybody.
That's the problem.
Pay everybody.
That's the problem with Seattle. Seattle doesn't have cap space now. Their cap is with Russell Wilson's big contract, their cap space is way down. So number one, how are they going to afford to resign him? And number two, does he want to resign there? Because he wants to be a Cowboy. So this could blow up in their face. Unless they win a Super Bowl this year, they lost that trade.
According to you, you think that before this trade, I was out on Seattle. I'll be the first one to say I said I didn't think they were that good. Now you add Jamal Adams. Hey, this team is looking dangerous now in the NFC. He's not going to Dallas, though, Justin. I'll bet anybody that right now he will not become a Cowboy next year.
But he could go anywhere. If he goes somewhere else, if he plays 1 year, was it worth 2 first-round picks and a third and a starting safety?
No, I agree with that. But I think he's going to resign. I think Pete Carroll knows something that we don't know. So,
but even so, the Jets now have created cap space because now they're not gonna re-sign Adams. They created cap space, got 2 first-round picks. You can't get any better in a rebuilding mode than that. Plus, the dude had to go. He said that the head coach wasn't capable of leading the team. He had to go. There's no way he could have played there. So he had to be traded.
I think like I said, I think it's a good trade for both sides. I just know we can sit here and speculate what's gonna happen with the Jets, who they're gonna get with those picks, but we know the Seahawks have a stud on their team now on that defensive secondary. We know it.
Seattle overpaid though. We all know he was going to be traded. He could not stay. Once you go and say the head coach is not capable of coaching, he cannot stay. So
hold on. Let me make
how
sure.
How did he all of a sudden get higher status by being a problem child? He got more than they asked for last year, even though they know that they had to trade him. So that doesn't make sense to me at all. So the Jets definitely won this trade, man.
I mean, Jamal Adams is not even in his prime. He's 24 years old. He's 24. You got to think about that for a second. The dude is 24 years old. That is a baby in the NFL. And not to mention, I don't want to lie. Was Jamal Adams, he was a top 5 pick. He was around, I can't think off the top of my head. So in order to get a top 5 pick in the draft, you're going to give up almost 2 first rounds and more.
No, a first-round pick early, yes, on a rookie contract.
He was the 6th overall pick.
Sixth pick. Okay,
but he's not on a rookie contract anymore.
I get that, but I'm saying he's still a 6th pick in the draft. To get the 6th pick in the draft, you're going to have to give up a lot to get that. You're not just going to get that. And especially a team like Seattle, who's always on the back end of the draft because they're always competing for a Super Bowl. I think it's a good trade for both sides. I'm not knocking the Jets. I'm just saying you're telling me kind of like the Pelicans. The Pelicans, cool, yeah, Zion, I get it, and we have a great future, looks like. But the Lakers got Anthony Davis. They got Anthony Davis. They got the proven commodity. That's all I'm saying.
But you mentioned all these draft picks, but at the end of the day, this is the New York Jets we're talking about. You look at draft history, 1st-round picks, got like Darren Lee, Leonard Williams, Lee Milner. And then, I'm a USC guy. I'm a USC guy, but Sam Darnold, he's starting to become a bust right now. And then they drafted Jamal Adams in 2017. You got rid of him, man. They've been doing a horrible job when it comes to their draft. And I'm not too fond about what they receive as far as draft picks because I think they're going to be making horrible decisions once again when it comes to their draft history.
Okay, hey, I ain't mad at that. So we're going to have to just wait and see in the future. That's the beautiful thing about sports.